Hey guys.
What up, Eagle Talk fam?
How y'all doing? We looking like two milk duds right now. My forehead is peeling. We fresh from vacation, had a great, amazing time in Mexico, and now we back to work.
Yeah, we went on a vacation.
We did.
Because, am I still a PYT? Pretty young thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just turned 42.
You did.
And for my birthday, we went to one of our favorite resort chains and hung out in Mexico for the week. And we had a good time.
Yeah, I think it was well needed. On my end, I realized about on day 2 that I was facing burnout, real estate burnout. And this was the first time that I actually disconnected from my phone, internet, everything for a few days. And
You really did.
Yeah,
I was surprised. Like normally when we're on vacation, we spent a good portion of we have fun, but we still a good portion being kind of glued to our devices. And this time you did a really good job.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So you feel rested.
I do. Yeah.
Okay. I, on the other hand, I feel rested, but I dealt with high anxiety while I was there because on night 2, I thought it was a good idea to turn on Netflix and watch Dahmer.
Yeah, I didn't.
Listen, y'all, I'm not going to go into the gory details, but if y'all know the Jeffrey Dahmer story, y'all, it messed me up. I watched like the first 5 episodes. Corey would not watch it with me. He was like, I'm protecting my spirit. And that was the smartest thing you could have did.
Actually, we got back yesterday. I think I spent, I don't know, from about 9 to about 2 o'clock checking on just YouTube stuff. Deion Sanders got a good EYL interview that he just dropped.
Okay.
And at 2:15 this morning, I watched Dahmer. Like an idiot. I should have just went to bed because if I got through the first episode and a half and I was like, this is not growing me.
My goodness. Not only is it not growing you, I mean, like, let's just be real. Sometimes you do watch stuff for entertainment, but this, because it's a true story, and it was just like I was just praying the whole time. So I got through 5 episodes. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it, but yeah. So protect your spirit, and you might not want to watch it. But vacation was good. Yeah. Dahmer just had me a little out of sorts.
Yeah. So you want to tell the people what we're talking about today?
Yes, y'all. So we are. We're super excited because we have a resource that we have created for our fellow entrepreneur friends. Lots of times, whether it's this platform or in our respective real estate businesses, we get a lot of like, can we pick your brains? And what do you suggest for entrepreneurs and things like that? So we have created a resource for you, which is 5 things that we think all entrepreneurs, like 5 habits that you should be doing on a daily basis.
Can I tell them the best thing about it?
What's the best thing about it?
It's 100% free.
It's free. It's complimentary, right? Like it's so the game is valuable. Sometimes when you say free, then I think that sometimes people don't understand the value. It's complimentary to you, but you can head on over to get it if you are in an entrepreneurial space. Quite honestly, if you're in any space where you're looking to be productive, this is something that you want. Go to eagletalkpodcast.com/5 habits. Again, eagletalkpodcast.com/5 habits. You'll be able to get this free resource. And today we're going to actually talk about one of the habits that I know has been a game changer in my business and my personal life, and yours too.
Can I give him the tip now?
Yeah, give it to him. Corey, like, is it time? It's time.
I mean, it's let me say it this way. If this is what you choose to do, you would see a significant change in your productivity.
Yes.
And that is your day starts the night before.
Yep.
So let me see, your bedtime is 10 p.m. So about 9 p.m., you write down we start planning for it. Well, this is why we thought this would be great to bring y'all into our process, because we both apply the same principle, but one of us is a morning person, i.e. Rosemary, and one of us is a night person, a night owl, which is Corey. But we both do the same thing.
We both do the same things. We just approach it 2 different ways. So let's just back it up. So the tip, in case you didn't catch it when my baby said it, is plan tomorrow today. So pretty much you have to get into the habit of planning, like not letting that day catch you. You know, like when we were on vacation, it's kind of like, I don't even know what we're gonna do. Like this is one of those vacations where like we walked into that day not knowing what the day was gonna bring, and it was okay because that was actually the goal. That could be detrimental in your businesses,
for sure.
and just in your personal life if every day you don't have an agenda. And the challenge with entrepreneurship is that many of us are coming from structured work environments where we knew that the deadline was coming up, or we knew that this had to happen. I knew, you know, I had a track of what needed to happen in my classroom. And when you're an entrepreneur, nobody is really around to tell you what to do. And as a result, there could be a lot of wasted time. So before we go into what our days look like, has there ever been a point where you were not maximizing your time? Like, what did that look like for you? And I'll share mine.
Take the things that we do at night off the table right now. Just to answer that question, yes. And why? It's just because because life happens, right? The day happens. I can think of, we've been back 24 hours and I had a to-do list this morning. I can guarantee you I had to deal with 10 things today
that were not on
that list. You know, so, and I'm talking about whether it's planning your meals, your gym times, you know, time with the kids, time with you, whatever it is. I try to write it down. You do a better job because you actually use a highlighter and all kinds of stuff. Mine is just, you know, I got 20 things to do today, you know. But to answer your question, yes, and that has definitely streamlined the productivity of what I need to do, and not let just distractions get in the way.
And I think there's a sense of accomplishment too, right?
For sure.
Because once you get into the habit, and I'll talk about strategy behind it, it just makes you feel like I just wasn't, because some days it feels like I did a whole lot of stuff, but I have nothing to show for what I did, right? So I'll talk about me. So y'all know, came from a very structured background as a teacher, and day to day, like I knew what I needed to accomplish with my kids in the classroom every day. So when I got into real estate, the thing that made this business so sexy, and I thought about this when I went to go get my eyebrows done today. I don't know, but by the way, I don't know how often I tell this lady every time I go there, she like, oh, you not working today? No, I am working. I work every day remotely, right? And she even said today, oh, you not working today? Like, no, I am working. And she was like, oh, you on your lunch break? I'm like, no, I'm not on lunch break. This is what I do. But nonetheless, what happened is I remember being a teacher, and there was a window, like we would have our break, and amen, put it in the chat if you know this, there would be like a little room where teachers, we got to go for our lunch break. Lunch break was all of like 19 minutes. And don't, like, if you, we could always tell if somebody was new, if they had some food, they had to warm up, because you don't have time to warm up food when you're a teacher. You need to bring a salad, a sandwich, something like that. But we would just kind of sit out and watch all of the moms walking in with their, you know, food and gym clothes, like, and it would just be like, I would fantasize. And that was something that I fantasized about when I wanted to do something different, was the freedom of time. But what happened is that the freedom of time for me was detrimental starting out. And because what that looked like is, you know, I was not waking up any earlier. I was getting up just in enough time to get Cameron to school. Then by the time I got him to school, did some stuff around the house, you know, got something to eat, made the bed, I'm looking up and it's like 1 o'clock and I've done nothing in my real estate day, right? So I'm out here living like no shade to stay-at-home moms. I was out here living like I was a stay-at-home mom because I had the flexibility, but I was not a stay-at-home mom, right? We both needed to work so that we could eat. And that freedom of time and that lack of structure, because I literally would wake up and go into the day with whatever I kind of felt like doing during the day. And the reality is many of us don't feel like working. You know what I mean? We don't feel like doing the things that we need to do in order to be productive. And then we could get pulled into all these different directions and look up and nothing has been done. So getting into the habit of having some way to tell my time where to go has been amazing for us.
I think I like that you're talking about when you first got started, because I think one of the biggest things you probably realized being on commission 100% is at the end of the month, right? When your numbers don't look like how you want your numbers to look. It's like, well, week 1 and week 2.
What were you doing?
Exactly.
What were you doing?
Yeah.
And from, look, I had a mentor. She always would say, even in real estate particularly, like, we're already working from behind, right?
Yeah.
So the work that we do today, we won't see the results of it for 30, 60, 90 days. So there is no time to not figure it out. So we figured it out, and we figured out a system that works for us. So you want to share your system first?
Yeah. So what's the name of my planner that I use?
Listen, his baby found him a planner that works for him.
Customized for me.
And we will link it in the show notes so that y'all can check it out. And we use different things. It's called the Full Focus Planner.
Full Focus. So I end every night, I don't care if it's 9 at night or 3 in the morning, with my Full Focus Planner. It has the top 3 things for my next day, and then everything else I can just write in. Sometimes it's 7 things, sometimes it's 27 things. But that definitely gets me through my day. I normally check it in the morning, but then I'll check it midday. I'll check it before I go to the gym. Mm-hmm. And if I need to, tighten up some stuff that didn't happen that day, it goes to the next day. Yeah. And that's just really it. It's, I'm not as structured as her system. Mine is just to, write it down, scratch it off, or, if I need to, focus on it for, push it back a day or 2. Because we're in real estate, right? Yeah. So sometimes you base off other people's schedules, and stuff like that. And that just kind of lets me just make sure that those things got done in my life that day.
And so what I like about the way, because Corey used to just use a notepad, y'all. Yeah. And not that the notepad wasn't working, because I commend you, because before I was even, like, you have been making a to-do list since I've known you. Yeah. And before, even before I got you Full Focus, you would have that to-do list. But what I like about Full Focus and what it has done for you is that it's allowed you to prioritize that big 3, right? So even though you may have different things that come up in the day, you're like, well, I had to send these LLC documents for this closing. For sure. And I'm not going to let the fact that somebody else's emergency came, I have it written down. So now I know to go back to
Let me tell you a key piece of information I didn't give y'all. The first one is my planner is not annual. Yes. It's quarterly. Yes. Okay. And I made the mistake in the beginning of, after the quarter ended, I would get rid of it. So I couldn't go back and, revisit. April, right, and say, okay, what did my February really look like? Yeah. Because you forget, you can't remember all of that stuff that happened. So now you have me keeping my stuff, which just totally makes sense. So I can go back and look at my life and see how productive I was and where I need to tighten up.
Yeah, and then when you have those months, right, where you hit your numbers, or months where you didn't hit your numbers, I like having a tangible piece of evidence of how I was spending my time. Yeah. So now, because it's always a good idea to revisit. Like, I think that a lot of times we can just get on autopilot, but it's a good idea to revisit, like, okay, what was happening? What was I doing? But then also life happens, right? So in the planner, I love that there's a space to evaluate what has happened, like what's going on in your life, what happened this month, like what are some things you wanted to do? And then now if it's like, okay, well, my numbers weren't as high, but we traveled, or, we went experienced this loss or this thing right there, so that we're not beating ourselves up too, right? Yeah. So I think that not only does it give us accountability, but it gives you it paints a good picture of what was really happening, so that now we can plan for stuff.
I like that you use the word accountability, because that's exactly what it does. The planner makes you be accountable to your calendar. Yeah. Right? So, because you can go through your day however you choose, and lunch with your friend, and people just pop up out of the blue, or you can say, no, I can't do that today. Yes. Now we need to do that on Friday, or you know what I mean? You're accountable to yourself without even knowing it.
And sometimes we need tools to support that accountability. Yeah. So entrepreneurs, that's a good one. So check out Full Focus Planner. Now I'll tell you about my system, which is similar but different. So I got into reading Audible books, and at some point the Audible book, what was the name of the book? The One Thing by Gary Keller was introduced to me. Love that book. And Gary talked about the one thing that you need to do in order to be most productive in your life. It really boiled down to the art of time blocking, right? And time blocking, game changer in Rosemary's life. And from that, I was able to, just from listening to that book to then, just learning some other things about the 5 F's. We plan our life based on faith, family, fitness, finances, and fun. So not just telling my time where to go in my business life, because I was experiencing a different sort of burnout, right? Like I'm gonna work. And then I'm burnt out. I have no time for family or I have no time for friends. So, listening and learning about time blocking was my jam. And I did it for a very long time as I was learning how to segment my time. I used a week view planner, and I would plan my whole week. And that planner that I used then was the Passion Planner. And I still love the Passion Planner. However, and this is why you have to take assessment, okay? So was using the Passion Planner for quite a while, to the point where time blocking was almost becoming so routine for me that I wasn't being as proficient with keeping and reviewing my time block. And then when my mom passed away, and this is why you just got to have conversations and check-ins with yourself, I would check in and like, okay, I just felt kind of all over the place. And although I did this way and it worked well, I needed to find a way to check. I need more of a daily check-in, right? Yeah. Not like a quick scan, but like literally take an assessment. I know you were already using Full Focus. Full Focus just wasn't my jam. Yeah. So I started using, after searching high and low, the Passion Planner, but the Passion Planner Daily Planner. And we're going to link all of this stuff in the show notes so that y'all can take a look at it, see if one of these are going to be for you. What I like about the Passion Planner, and Full Focus does this too, I just like the layout more. So I have my top 3, but they asked me a few key questions about my day, like what went well today. If I had to sum up the day in one word, there's an area to time block. So what it looks like for me is every night at 9 p.m., I look at what I did for the day or for the current day, and I answer the questions. What went well? I look at, take the last look at what my top 3 items were that I was supposed to be doing for business and personal. And then I plan tomorrow, right? So I plan tomorrow. There's a section where you're able to literally schedule out all of your time, which is time blocking. I block my time, and now I'm able to plan tomorrow, and I do that review and recycle. At 9 p.m., y'all, I put my phone away. I've told y'all this before. I put my phone away. I turn my phone off because after I plan for tomorrow, I need a break from the world so that I can be mentally prepared for tomorrow. Yeah. So something for me, which is where Corey and I are different, is that, I am really working hard on not consuming any more information, because what I'm learning in my entrepreneurial life and just in my life in general is that people don't give themselves time to think. Yeah. And I need time to think. So I need time to think about what's going to happen tomorrow. I need time to think about, whatever else we have going on. I keep a notepad by my bed so that I can just jot down whatever those thoughts are. So then I can actually rest and go to sleep peacefully. Then the next day, because I have done a great job of planning what was going to happen today, I give the gift of time to myself in the morning, where I get to pour into myself by reading, exercising, doing whatever that looks like before anybody needs me, right? Before you need me, before the kids need me, before my clients need me, I give myself that time. So now, instead of the day happening to me when my phone starts going off at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, now I am already in control of the day because I planned for it using my tool the night before. And then I've given myself the gift of time in the morning so that I can be, I can just be on. Now, do I do this perfectly every night? No,
neither one of us do.
Look, we've been on vacation for a week. I ain't open that plan. But I will open it tonight because I know that I'm at my best. And this is what I love about those planners, is that once I do my big 3, which when it's written down, I'm really, apt about getting it done and knocking it out. Now the rest of the day is mine. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I have planned for our fun. I have planned for date nights. I have planned for a walk around the block. So I don't feel any guilt. And y'all know that entrepreneurial guilt, that like tug of, ooh, should I be doing something else? I don't feel that guilt because I have been so succinct with how I plan for my day. I can fully go about it.
I'm sitting here thinking about something right now. We're in 4th quarter and we're giving a huge tip like this. Now is the time. If you're not doing it, now is the time to start, right? Don't start January 1, because it's the concept of if you're on time, you're late.
Yeah.
So you might as well take advantage of these 3 months and maybe you might have to go through a planner or two.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to go through different strategies. But I really think that if you're going to adapt this in your life, especially business, maybe some personal, but especially business, that the results that you'll get in Q1 are going to start now.
No, I love that. And I also want to say this, because like you keep saying, well, I'm more structured. I'm naturally not a structured person. And Corey, like, this is a learned behavior for both of us. Yeah. So because what you see is are we going to take better control of our time? I know when we were on the podcast last week and we had the episode, I think it's episode number 77. It's about the Q&A when we had the live audience. Yeah. And the question that always comes up is that work-life balance, right? Being an entrepreneur, or, how does that look, taking care of your family and doing something like planning tomorrow. If you sit down today and think about what's required of you tomorrow, your wife not gonna call you pissed off that you missed junior soccer game again, right? Because you've taken some time to slow down and process, what you've done and what you need to do. And that's something that helps achieve that balance, but you don't have to be perfect at it. But I do think that just committing to practicing it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think this is a really good piece of information. And again, give the website to the 5 habits.
Yes, because it's just one habit, y'all. There are 4 more that you definitely need to check out. And none of it is rocket science, but I promise you all of it, all of the habits are applicable things that you start applying into your business and your life. You are going to see great results. So that's eagletalkpodcast.com/5 habits, and give that website to your friends. Like, go ahead and share that with them so that they can, go ahead and get all of these habits and share this episode.
So we hope this episode was good for you guys. Go ahead and give us a 5-star review, pretty please.
5 stars.
And like, share, and subscribe to the channel.
Yes, and subscribe to the podcast. Like, we get to y'all. I wish y'all could see how crunk Corey and I get when, like, we see, like, we got 1 new subscriber. Like, we celebrate one person, because first of all, one person is amazing to us that anybody would even want to hear. We got to say,
yeah.
But we are just so grateful that for every time you subscribe, every time you like, every time you write a review, we read every single one of them, and it just gives us some encouragement to keep coming back and sharing with this amazing community.
So thank y'all for listening. See y'all next time.
All right, Eagles, did you know that we have a community, a private Facebook group just for you? If you are not already a part of this dynamic group of individuals, make sure that you get connected today. The Facebook group is Eagle Talk with Team Lewis. Hop on in there. We cannot wait to start chatting with you, celebrating with you, and getting to know you better.